Winter is no longer approaching. Winter is here. Not the kind that freezes roads, but the kind that freezes mercy, freezes justice, freezes systems people once trusted to save them. Scripture warned us, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse. Revelation 6, verse 8. 4. Not 3, not symbolic. 4 forces unleashed at once. And the final rider doesn't gallop alone. He brings death, he brings decay, and he is authorized. And his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. Revelation 6, verse 8. Death does not arrive as chaos. He arrives as collapse with paperwork. The verse continues. Power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. 4 instruments, 1 judgment, 1 winter. The sword, the famine, the plague, and the beasts. Not coming separately, coming together. Mark 13 already told us the pattern. Nation shall rise against nation. There shall be famines and troubles. Revelation doesn't contradict Yeshua. It completes him. Winter is not punishment without warning. Winter is judgment with receipts. Death here is not poetic. Scripture reveals pestilence, not just illness, but widespread death moving through systems. And look around. Hundreds of rural hospitals are now classified as vulnerable to closure, leaving entire regions without emergency care. Emergency rooms are overcrowded. Ambulances circle like vultures. Response times stretch, and the burden doesn't fall equally. Black patients experience longer emergency wait times and delayed treatment compared to others. Black mothers are dying at nearly 3 times the rate of white mothers during childbirth. Not because they are weaker, because the system is colder. A college-educated Black woman, healthy, insured, aware, walks into a hospital in labor. She reports severe pain. She's told it's normal. She reports chest pressure. She's told she's anxious. She reports shortness of breath. She's dismissed as dramatic. Hours later, when the crisis can no longer be ignored, it's too late. The autopsy reveals what she kept reporting: pulmonary embolism, treatable if believed. This is not one story. This is the pattern. Serena Williams, world-class athlete, wealth, resources, knowledge, nearly died postpartum from medical neglect. If it can happen to her, what protection exists for the rest? The love of many shall wax cold. Matthew 24, verse 12. Winter medicine is not about healing. It's about rationing survival. The sword is not always a blade. It's a badge. It's a policy. It's a mandatory sentence. and sometimes it's fire from the hands of kings. Power was given unto them. Revelation 6, verse 8. And history shows how that power is used. Incarceration rates for Black men born in the 70s and 80s reached levels as high as 1 in 3 for older generations. More recently, the rate is 1 in 5. Let that settle. 1 in 3. 3 brothers, 3 fathers, 3 sons. One of them would spend time behind bars at some point in their lifetime. Not for increased criminality, for increased enforcement. The 13th Amendment didn't end slavery, it relocated it. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as punishment for crime. That exception became a loophole. That loophole became an industry. Nearly 1.8 million people remain incarcerated in the U.S. today, which is higher than the number of slaves up until 1865. Public and private facilities alike profit from prison labor, paid pennies per hour. The plantation didn't disappear. It evolved. Still devastating, still deliberate. And famine, not just food, opportunity famine, housing famine, employment famine. A family that survived on $50,000 a year in 2019 now needs $75,000 or more just to maintain the same standard of living. But wages didn't rise. The rent did. The groceries did. The gas did. The insurance did. Meanwhile, food deserts expand. Grocery stores closed in Black neighborhoods, replaced by dollar stores and fast food. Fresh produce, a 30-minute drive. Healthy options, priced out of reach. Food deserts grow. Costs rise. Wages lag. They shall be hardly bestead and hungry. And it shall come to pass that when they shall be hungry, they shall fret themselves, and their soul shall faint within them. Isaiah 8, verse 21. This is controlled scarcity. And with the beasts of the earth. Let's be precise. In Scripture, beasts are never just animals. Daniel 7 confirms it. These great beasts are 4 kings, which shall arise out of the earth. Beasts represent kingdoms, systems, and governing powers that devour. So when Revelation speaks of beasts, it is revealing predatory structures, systems that strip, erase, and consume. This is not about buzzwords. This is about withdrawal of protection. Watch carefully. Race protections in education were dismantled. Oversight language is being removed. Corporate commitments to equity eliminated. Historical narratives have been diluted. Accountability mechanisms are now divisive, not replaced, removed. Here's what that looks like on the ground. Companies no longer track diversity because oversight was removed. School districts alter history because truth appears divisive. Bias training is no longer required because apparently there are no biases. This is how beasts operate. They don't attack directly. They remove the shield first. This is not progress. This is exposure. When beasts are released, the vulnerable are no longer shielded. When the hedge is broken, the serpent will bite. Ecclesiastes 10, verse 8. Winter doesn't announce itself. It withdraws covering. Because Scripture says power is given, the Most High removes restraint. Not because he's cruel, but because restraint is no longer held. Daniel saw what follows. The same horn made war with the saints and prevailed. The fourth beast shall devour the whole earth. Daniel 7, verses 21 through 23. When restraint is lifted, beast systems are given room to operate. And systems do what systems have always done. They devour the unprotected. You cannot stop the pale horse, but you are not called to panic. You are called to prepare spiritually. Anchor yourself in truth. Detach from false saviors. Build faith, not fantasy. Practically. Strengthen community. Learn skills. Reduce dependence on collapsing systems. The prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. Proverbs 22, verse 3. Winter does not reward denial. Winter rewards discernment. When the storm comes, children panic, but the mature stand. Winter is heavy, but winter is not the end. Scripture is clear. These bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, O my people, I will open your graves and bring you into the land of Israel, and ye shall live. Ezekiel 37, verses 11 through 14. Dry bones don't mean dead forever. They mean waiting for breath. Isaiah saw it too. In that day, the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. He will assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Isaiah 11, verses 11 through 12. Scattered to the four corners. Gathered from the four corners. The same power that scattered is the same power that gathers. Jeremiah heard it. I will be found by you, says Yah, and I will bring you back from your captivity. I will gather you from all the nations and from all the places where I have driven you, and I will bring you back to the place from which I caused you to be carried away. Jeremiah 29, verse 14. Not if, will, not maybe, certainty. Winter strips, winter exposes, but spring restores what endured. Those who survive winter don't just recover. They rise, stronger, wiser, awake. Survival in this hour is not complicated, but it's intentional. Here's what winter demands. Anchor in truth daily. Build real community. Learn one practical skill. Reduce dependence on failing systems. Prepare spiritually and physically. This is not fear. This is discernment. I've seen this already. I watched someone ignore every warning, trust the system completely, and when it failed, they froze. Not because they were evil, not because they were foolish, but because what they trusted could not stand. Yeshua warned us about this. But everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it fell, and great was its fall. Matthew 7, verses 26 through 27. The storm didn't destroy the house. The foundation did. But I've also seen those who prepared quietly, not loud, not paranoid, just wise. So when pressure came, they didn't panic because their home was built on a solid foundation. And a wise man who built his home on the rock, and the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it did not fall. Matthew 7, verses 24 through 25. They stood, and that's the difference winter reveals. When the storm comes, children panic, but the mature stand. That's why demystifying spiritual maturity exists. This is not inspirational reading, it's preparation. If you're ready to grow past surface level faith and walk with clarity in this season, grab your copy today at divineencounterbooks.com. Though the fig tree shall not blossom, yet will I rejoice in Yah. Habakkuk 3, verses 17 through 18. Winter is not forever, but it is necessary, and those who endure it away will be the ones standing when spring returns. The pale horse is riding, not to scare you, but to separate the prepared from the dependent. The question is not if winter is here. The question is, will you freeze or will you endure? Choose wisely. Peace and blessings.